Hey, everybody, John Hayden back with you at Greater Wilton Manors. And this person needs no introduction to anyone who spent any time on Wilton Drive in the last few years, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. Matthew Darren, thank you so much for joining me. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. You're infiltrating a lot of my life these days.
Oh, I try my best to keep people on their toes, so you're welcome.
You just put on Manlesque at the
Yeah.
Gray Box Theater, and it was so fun. It was like old school variety show. You had some comedy, you had some sexy dancing, you had some great singing. How are you feeling now that we're about a week or so away from it? How are you feeling about it?
Oh, I'm thrilled. You always expect for things to kind of, you know, go this way or that way other than plan. You got your plan and you hope that things go to plan, but you just kind of expect that they're not always going to be perfect. And I have to say with all honesty, like everything that went a little off plan was such a little minute thing, so it made the entire day and experience so chill and so fun for everybody. Like, sometimes you run into crazy sound systems, or for instance, the night before we had like these torrential downpours and it was raining inside on the stage through the air duct system.
Oh,
So
oh.
like that could have been, horrible, or we could have turned it into a wet manlesque. You know what I mean? Like we would have made it work. But the day of, everything just I had such an amazing team around me. So they kept us on point and kept us going.
Now there were many highlights of the show. I'm not going to lie. Most of them did not involve shirts, but but for me, one of the best moments when you made your first live performance anywhere of your new song, My Better Judgment.
Yeah,
I've
I
got I've,
loved it.
I've got a little clip of it. Let's check it out.
My better judgment screaming no. My body's begging, let it go. I should know by now, I should rise above, but I'm drunk on the danger, addicted to love. My better judgment, side of sight, guess I'll pay for it come daylight.
All right, so that was fun. That was rocking. Tell me a little bit about that song.
It's fairly self-explanatory. You've ever walked into a space or been in a space where someone or something has caught your attention so much that you just kind of like lose the control over what you think you should be doing, and you just kind of like, it's almost like getting hypnotized into a moment. You know what I mean? And that's what that song is about. There've been experiences that I've had where I'm so captivated by someone, what they're doing, what they're delivering, who they are as a person, or the air and the energy that they bring into a room, or even sometimes a singer on a stage where I'm just like, oh my gosh, am I in love? I can't tell, like, what's going on. So yeah, that's basically what that song kind of started out as. And then, if I go back into my own past and think about those moments, when have I just allowed them to kind of, take root and grow the way that they wanted to, and just be in the moment. It's kind of like one of those things where you're like, well, we'll just deal with the outcome in the morning, but we'll see how this goes, kind of a thing.
Yeah. So you're going to be performing it again at the
Yeah.
Gray Box, this time on Saturday, May 9th at 7:30 p.m. Now, you're not just going to play that song on a loop for 90 minutes. What else are we going to be singing and hearing from you?
Well, I'm super excited because I'll be joined by a band of amazing musicians that will be accompanying me, and you're gonna get to hear, the live full band version with a little bit more production. I didn't want to go too crazy in the Manlesque show. I wanted to introduce it. I thought that the theme of the song was so in line with kind of like that sensual vibe of the show that it worked. But I also didn't want it to kind of deter from the focus of the show at all. So this time it's going to be all out band, visuals, dancers. You're gonna get My Better Judgment, and you're gonna get a taste of this really long list of songs next to me that I'm slowly whittling down to a solid album. You know, I gave myself a to-do list a couple years ago. On my 39th birthday, I was like, I need to write my own full solo album by the age 40. So you've got a year. And now it's been a year and a half, and I've put some of those songs, you know, beyond paper and into the computer, and we're at 23 songs. So I got to figure out which ones are going to be on the first album. Maybe there's already a second album over there.
You know, I think we'd love to hear 23 songs. I'm not sure if Gary's got enough time for
Right?
you to do that all in one night,
I
though.
don't know if I have enough attention span for 23 songs. You know, that ADHD catches up with me all the time.
Okay, so you've got all these songs, and you're going to perform some in May, but you're going to release a whole bunch of them once you whittle down the list. You're going to release a whole bunch of songs coming out in September and an album. Tell me about that.
So the album is entitled The Switch, and for the most part, I have selected what's going to be on the album. There's just a couple songs. In my mind, the album is kind of like a book. Like if you were a writer, and you want it to tell a story, you want it to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, but you also want it to make sense. And one of the things that I loved about the show Heated Rivalry, which I'm sure you, as well as many of those watching, have probably seen, is how it can depict like different times of life, different seasons of life, and different characters. And that's kind of what I'm trying to decide now, is which scenes of my life do I want to share in this cohesive manner. So the album is called The Switch because it really was just that. There was a moment in time where things clicked. I grew up as a little church boy with a Pentecostal preacher as a father and a singing mama, you know, who could give me the look from the stage, and I would have to shut up and sit down in the pew. You know, having that background oftentimes kind of stifled my creativity. I was always supported with art by my mom and my sister. But in my brain, I was like, if I sing too many high notes, people might know that I'm gay because that's what girls do. Or if I sound like this, or if I try to sound sexy, or if I try to, you know, and it's crazy what we do to ourselves in our own brains sometimes. And, you know, Ray, my husband, and I had a moment in time in 2021 where I was walking home from Wilton Drive and I got hit by a drunk driver, and luckily I'm still here today. His car is not, so his car got totaled, but I did not. Thank God. I got some good angels. And that really kind of set me in a different direction mentally about who I am and how comfortable I am with who I am. I think I've always tried to edit myself and produce myself in one way or another when I'm presenting who I am to people. And I've gotten to a point now where I just feel so happy with the life that I've been able to create, and so incredibly blessed that all I want to do is just share it in the hopes that it kind of impacts somebody else's life. So that was like this moment where my brain just switched, and it gave me the confidence to present who I am. I've recorded a lot of stuff throughout my life and career. I've recorded with some incredible vocalists, Grammy Award winning, Dove Award winning, like all of these different insanely talented people. But I've never released a full Matthew Darren solo original album. And so I'm like, this is the time. And that's what I'm going to do. So it's called The Switch, and it'll be coming out in September. And, you know, there'll be roughly 272,000 songs on it. It'll be great.